Hey everyone, welcome back to the Critic-Verse. Today, we're going to be heading to Bel-Air as we break down the trailer for Bel-Air Season 2, premiering on Peacock in late February. But first, let's take a look at that trailer, which will be inverted to avert copyright issues.
Hello, new world. My whole life was based on a lie. Can't go back to the way things were.
A real man doesn't avoid hard things. He faces what scares him.
Will.
Get dressed and buckle up, fool.
Yeah.
Take off the foo-foo. Take off the cloud chase. Take off the Wi-Fi.
We need to talk. The house just isn't the same when
Will's not home. It's a real world outside.
What's going on, Will?
Just want to take care of myself. I've been staying in South LA. Where does money come from? Just a couple street ball games, no big deal. You stepping to what?
Okay, now I'm worried.
I did what I did for Will's sake.
But Philly Will is back, baby.
But he's reverting back to his old ways.
Let's go. There's this big-time scout, and he's helped a lot of dudes get to the pros.
That fancy Bel-Air team got you and your game, so if you come work with me, sky's the limit.
Take a quarter meal, hella final.
We need to talk about our partnership.
You're a boss. I'm just trying to bring it out.
If you don't set the tone, she's just gonna keep on walking all over you.
I was trying to be someone different. The BSU, the protests, all people see are my mistakes.
Never ever let anyone try to change you.
Serving up a look,
can't believe you're going back so soon.
dancing in a drop.
Well, babe, you know I can't sit still for too long.
When is it my time to feel valued? I wish to create a legacy where we are represented.
I think it's time you take the gloves off, babe.
Right, Carlton?
Carlton!
You need to watch your mouth.
Maybe I am on the wrong team.
We can't be friends anymore.
We can't do this to you. Fight for your principles.
I have anxiety trying to fit into this goddamn Bel-Air bubble.
We all need to step up. You got any Jeffrey wisdom?
None that you want to hear.
Now, I loved the first season of this show. It really took me by surprise. Revamping a 90s sitcom into a new age drama, taking these characters that we've known and loved and giving them present day issues and depth like never before. Season 1 ends on a cliffhanger, with Will's life even further turned upside down after finally being able to meet his father and it not being what he wanted. I mean, seriously, they dropped the father-son moment so quick that shit gave me whiplash. And the season ends with Will and Jazz at the same spot they stood at in the series premiere. And they go over the first thing Jazz ever told Will about coming to LA, and where Will wants to go from there. The Season 2 trailer answers that question after a montage of some of their series regulars with voiceovers of them all shouting Will's name, then switching to Will and Jazz telling the audience to buckle up for this new season. We are then presented with the lyrical stylings of Kendrick Lamar's N95, further highlighting that Will will be stepping out of the Bel-Air bubble into a new reality of South LA. While Kendrick's verse goes, we get two quick shots of Will and his interchangeable vibes in the streets of South LA to the halls of his Bel-Air prep school. Then an establishing shot of the Banks family residence to an inside look at the family returning to a status quo, but still feeling empty without Will in the helm. Will goes on to narrate how he's been staying in South LA, most likely at Jazz's place, probably giving the two a chance to develop a closer relationship to compare to the OG series. Will has also been playing pickup games of basketball for cash, which, if you remember, was the exact same event that led up to him having to run from Philly in the first place. Next is a scene of Will and Carlton getting pulled over in a sports car, probably to pay homage to the episode of Fresh Prince, when Carlton and Will got pulled over for driving Uncle Phil's friend's car, and Uncle Phil had to get them out of jail. Uncle Phil is then shown having a drink with Jeffrey, probably to give him updates on Will's life. And he and Will in a voiceover states that he's returning to who he was before he came back to Bel-Air. Shows Will beating a big dude in basketball who probably can kick his ass. An upcoming storyline this season is Will trying to impress a basketball scout that seems to come from a similar background as him, and he believes that Will's new Bel-Air team has been softening his game. And he tries to sell Will on the fact that if he works with him, he can take his career further than it's ever been. Hillary's story picks up with her partnership with Ivy off to a rocky start, as Ivy takes liberties that Hillary is not at all comfortable with, and Jazz is advising Hillary to prevent that from further being stepped on. Carlton's actions early on in the second season seem to be following him around in the eyes of his peers. It might have something to do with a failed protest gone wrong. The OG Ashley Banks, Tatiana Ali, makes an appearance, seemingly in a mentor position with the new Ashley Banks. Uncle Phil is returning to his practice after he was forced to drop out of the DA race in Season 1, straining his relationship with Aunt Viv further as they repeat the Season 1 storyline of Phil dimming Viv's shine. Carlton's anger issues and anxiety get the better of him, leading to an altercation. Will and Jazz may have pushed their luck a bit too far. Then we get a shot of Will at practice with someone saying you need to watch your mouth, but I doubt that it's directed at him since it sounds like it's coming from his friend at school, Tyler. But it does seem like Will's team is annoyed with him because he's probably back to his showboating ways. Will also seems to have a new love interest, as Lisa states she can't even be friends with him anymore, but it is unknown if this is a new love interest created for the show or if they are adapting Will's love interest from The Fresh Prince. We then cut to a montage of all the Banks children seemingly overwhelmed with stress at their new current situations. Will is meeting with Jeffrey asking for advice like back in Season 1, but Jeffrey doesn't believe Will want to hear what he has to say, probably because he'll tell him something about that how he needs to go home and face his issues with his family. My prediction on the theme of Season 2, especially in terms of Will and Uncle Phil, is backsliding into old habits and how that will affect those around them. Okay guys, that's all for today. Can't wait for Season 2 of Bel-Air. Coming out February 23rd on Peacock. Thanks for joining me in the Critic-Verse.